these aging boomers going to sell their night?
Private equity. Boomers are going to sell their homes to banks like BlackRock, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and the like, who are then subsequently going to rent them out for far more than anybody under the age of 40 can afford. And when they realize that, oh, nobody's going to be able to actually rent these, they're just going to hold on to them because housing in this country is a huge driving of like saving and investment. This is either going to contribute to a bubble that is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and nothing's going to happen, because it won't pop, because they will lobby to instead, because they've been investing in prisons for the last 10 years more than housing, and criminalizing homelessness, or the government will force them to sell them, which we all know they won't do.
So this comment here, it's not going to be 08 again, because it's going to be fundamentally different, and here's why. In 08, what had been happening for like 10 to 20 years before the 08 crash was, basically in a nutshell, people who had absolutely no business, none, owning a home, and had absolutely no business getting a mortgage, were getting mortgages. Like, it was bad. It was very bad. And what happened is that people who were basically what ended up happening is that a critical mass of these kind of like all fell apart, and these mortgages, which were all bundled into these other investment properties on the stock market, became worthless overnight, basically. And everybody lost their home. Everybody got their shit foreclosed on. And only like one banker went to prison. Nobody else did. And everybody lost their homes. The reason why this is going to be different is because the average American, and I'm talking about, when I say average American, I mean anybody under the age of fucking 40, is too poor to own a home outright now. Yeah, there's some that do. There's some Gen Zers that are in the top 1% of our generation who do own homes. I've met a few. But they're few and far between. What's really going to happen is that when these boomers sell their homes, they are going to sell them to, again, private equity firms. And these private equity firms, when they're inevitably not able to, rent them out to anybody, what's going to happen is that they're just going to hold them. Because they have value as homes anyways. And what will happen is that the value of these homes will go up and up and up, and the homeless number of homeless people in places will go up and up and up. And that is where you start to get the higher investments in private prisons that we've been seeing, when you have the only real investment in things for people that are in the 90% is just prison infrastructure, because in America, for those outside of this great nation who aren't aware, and even those who are inside of it who do not know, slavery is legal in America so long as you are in a prison. In the aftermath of the Civil War, they made a carve out in the Constitution to basically allow prisons to use their prisoners as slave labor. And in fact, there are quite a few laws. There are quite a few laws in states across the South that make it so the states have had to put laws into place for prisoner rights to have them get paid anything while working. I'm not talking they get paid a wage of that, a real. No, I'm talking about them to get paid any amount of money and not just work for free and shit. So, what's going to happen is that, like, I think what's probably what the ideal for these people in the higher these corporate overlords and stuff is that what they want is the poors to be felons, so they're not able to vote against their interests. They want them to constantly be in and out of prison, so they are able to lease out cheap labor for factories and things of the like. They want they don't want independent home ownership anymore. Unless unless the people in Congress feel physically threatened by us as the population to do something, what's pragmatically going to end up happening is America is going to turn into something resembling a feudal state. Yes, we might have a constitution. Yes, we might even have a democracy, but so many people have been put in prison because of they're homeless, or have been, they're trying to make homelessness count as felonies in some places, so people aren't able to vote after being homeless, and they want a readily available supply of people constantly in and out of prison, for use in because here's the thing. There was a AG, not AG, an assistant AG down in, I think it was either Alabama or Mississippi, that basically said, hey, I know we're supposed to let a lot of these people in this prison out, but a lot of shit's not going to get done in this county maintenance wise if we let these people go. They're great workers. And then they found a lot of reasons to deny these people parole or find other reasons to keep them in prison. America very well might turn into a feudal state simply by virtue of the fact that you're going to have your rich aristocracy, rich people who are born into wealth, and then they're going to run businesses and shit, and those businesses are going to hire less and less people as official workers, because official workers are routinely going to prison because they are homeless, or they can't find reasonable accommodations, and they have to go further and further and further away from their job site to be able to have a place to live, to the point where people are commuting 3 hours into a place to work, which, the rule of thumb of you need to live within 10 minutes, there needs to be livable accommodations for your lowest paid worker within 10 minutes of your workplace. That's not a thing anymore. And you and I will be potentially feudal slaves working in and out of prisons, and we will and day by day will be sent to work on production lines, or will be sent to work at call centers, or do all manner of things, and work for pennies on the dollar. And these companies will eventually lobby Congress to not have to pay the prisoners anything whatsoever, and we will come full circle back to America becoming what is effectively a slave state, and that is not going to be done among rich ones. It'll be black people and brown people will be treated worse and feel the ramifications of this first, but ultimately everybody who's not wealthy is going to be in this position. Black and brown people have been hollering and screaming from the rooftops, warning us about this shit for decades, and people still aren't listening. So it's unfortunate. Burn down, like politicians need to be afraid of us again. Yeah, sorry for the downer, folks, but we are in fact in hell. If you if you want to support me or any of the work I do, please consider dropping a tip up here at himedia.gg/tip. I appreciate you bunches, and have a rest of your day.